incredibly hard. There's clearly a labour shortage. But I think on top of that, it's the educational point of view. And we're finding now that even when we try and kind of push automation systems or pushing robots, it's actually about educating the market and the end users. It's a massive aspect of the open house is education.
Hello and welcome to another MTD podcast. This one's being filmed. I'm here at FANUC UK on Anstey Park in Coventry. The purpose of this podcast is to cover an up-and-coming event which is happening on November the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. In fact, we were here a year ago for a similar event, which was a really good open house, very well attended, loads of automation equipment and solutions to be seen. So I'm going to introduce the colleagues that I have with me. I've got three people from FANUC. I've got Brooke Tarrant, who's a marketing specialist, and more. And I've also got Dan Fisher, who's project sales manager here for FANUC. Part-time legend, full-time sales.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
And Ben Edwards, who's project manager here at FANUC UK. So welcome, guys, to this podcast.
Thank you.
I'll probably start with you, Brooke. Tell us about this open house. It's such an exciting one that happens on our calendar every year. What can people expect to see?
So we had a lot of feedback from last year's open house, so we've changed it based on the feedback we got. So we've shortened it. Last year it was 5 days. We've got 3 days. So we're trying to jam pack the exact same thing into 3 days, which turned out to be a little bit difficult, but I'm sure we'll do it. We've changed the structure. So we've got back-to-back seminars, workshop style things in the morning, and then in the afternoon it's free reign to have a look around. We've got live cutting on the Robodrill, which is something people specifically requested for. So we've took on a lot of feedback and made a few changes ready for this year. And
really looking forward to it. In fact, we'll also be streaming the event too.
Yep.
So for people that can't make it, but you're expecting, well, last year, didn't you have around about 700 or more attend?
Yeah, so overall footfall was just under 1,100 people. I think about 300, 400 of those were just exhibiting companies and people that came from the exhibitors.
Yeah, and so many important topics with the way the economic times at the moment, things like improving productivity, efficiency gains. Ben, what's going to excite you most about the event and why do you think people should attend?
I think showcasing our FANUC product and across the robotic range, we're going to showcase from the high-low payload robots, the R1000s, all the way down to the cobots, and showing the cobot range now with the CRX10 and the CRX20s as well. We're going to be showcasing our Robodrills with the test cuts. We're going to be having some World Cups on offer if you're lucky enough to get one of those throughout the open house.
Yeah, we'll tell you more about that competition as the podcast unfolds. Yeah.
And also we'll be doing a handout with the clocks as well. So we're actually going to be cutting some clock faces and adding those into a giveaway basically. And then also demonstrating our RoboShot technology as well. So all around the servo technology of FANUC, but and demonstrating how we work with that product and how our integrators develop that product via the turnkey system as well.
Okay, and Dan, involved in sales, you'll obviously talk to a lot of companies out there. The automation element, how important is it becoming to them now, and how much more attention are they paying to it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we, as everyone knows, kind of the current economical climate, trying to get hold of people to work for you is incredibly hard. There's clearly a labour shortage. But I think on top of that, it's the educational point of view. And we're finding now that even when we try and kind of push automation systems or pushing robots, it's actually about educating the market and the end users. And it's a massive aspect of the open house is education. And we're finding kind of when you are kind of offering that free consultancy, it seems to be where automation systems are then implemented the most. So that kind of bank of confidence is important for us and it's important for the customer. And the open house, I think, just adds to that. It kind of builds that, and it keeps building that, and that the momentum that we're kind of we've got and that we're trying to keep. The open house is we're all for.
And you're a young guy.
Clearly
you are. How in your short time maybe out there selling, how have you seen things change and the perception of automation change in that period?
Yeah, so I mean, I think automation has always been looked upon as kind of an automotive kind of thing, or like a tier one, or these big customers, these big kind of, I'm going to use the word sausage factory, and in this instance it's not necessarily a sausage factory, but those kind of big plants. But I think the adoption of single robot cells or double robot cells is becoming more and more, and that's simply as well down to the education of the product. I don't think people quite understand at the entry level cost that automation can be at. And they see these big lines on TV or on the news or, documentaries, and you're seeing maybe 30, 40, 50 robots in a line, and people aren't thinking that actually 1-2 robots to tend a CNC machine, for example, is well within
within
budget.
Reach can change
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
business. Yeah. What always fascinates me about your open houses is the diverse range of equipment and suppliers that you have here, because it's not just metal cutting, your injection moulding, robotics, as we've obviously discussed. Brooke, perhaps you could just give us a quick insight into some of the companies that are going to be exhibiting here, which people can obviously come and see.
Yeah, of course. So I think Tom summed it up really nicely when he closed the open house last year. A lot of people walk in and they think, oh, they've got competitors here, but we don't really see them as competitors. I think Tom said it to someone most recently as well. We've got to grow the market as a whole. We'd love to keep our market share, and we hope we will, but we've got to grow the market as a whole if we're going to grow this industry. So it's really important that we get people like Mazak here, we get Mill CNC here to show how our robots work with their products, but then we're also capable of showing what our products will do as well, so which is why we'll have the robot drill here doing live cutting. We'll be having, I think it's a robot tending our injection moulding machine as well, so our partner High Tech will be helping on that project. So it's really important for us just to get a real well-rounded mix of people. And
spray painting as well as a robot.
Yeah.
So all of these things that apply to every aspect of industry can be seen, can't they? And I think even if you're a business that's just got a specific purpose or a specific discipline that you are successful in, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't open your eyes to what else is happening within industry, because you can obviously learn from it. I mean, even packaging solutions and things like that, and pick and place, they're all so important, aren't they?
Yeah, and a lot of them can be adopted by different industries. So although we have a lot of applications that are very industry specific, so Loop Technology, for example, they'll be bringing an aerospace demo, but then we'll also have an automotive demo. We'll have the general palletizing, something that can be applied to multiple different industries. So that's what we really want to make people aware of. We won't just be targeting just automotive or just aerospace or just food and bev. We're making it so that it's really accessible for as many industries as possible.
Bit of fun too.
Yeah,
as well,
bit of fun too.
Can you tell us about that? Is there going to be a football game?
Yeah, so it's called, I think it's called the Baby Kicker Cell. So you can basically play table football against the robot.
You never beat it.
It's got an easy, medium and hard level. Okay. We can put it on the easy for you if you want, Paul,
yeah.
But yeah.
And what about the beer tending? I think I remember you had that last time, or was that the time
yes,
before?
That was the beer bot that was in 2019. So this year we've got the CRX5, which is one of our new. So we've just recently increased the CRX range. So I think we've got the largest range of cobot models in the world now. Mm-hmm. So we're actually going to have the 5 and 25 here, which are new models, and the 5 is going to be tending like a mini fridge, so you can tell it what you want, it'll get you a drink out.
Okay, will it be fast enough to keep up?
Yes, we hope so.
Ben, we'll come back to you. What about the speakers and the seminars? What's your thoughts on that, and how important are they in an event like this? You can see the hardware, you can walk around, but actually to listen and to converse.
Yeah, so as part of what Dan said earlier, the education side of it, seeing something and having it explained to you by a salesman is great, but then sitting down with the industrial leaders and then going into the detail and trying to explain how automation can help the system, how we as FANUC develop the automation from an inquiry stage all the way to a finished product. We offer that service, and explaining that to the customers and them coming to us with those inquiries is invaluable, really, and that's what these open houses are doing. When you go to other open houses or to other places to see these, you don't really have that aspect to it all the time, and you're hearing it from FANUC people and you're hearing it from our expert integrators as well.
What's your favourite part of the show, Dan?
Oh, that's a tough one. Let's keep this professional. I think
good to see people again. Good to meet up with people again.
It's not that. I think it's a rare opportunity. That's the key thing. It's a rare opportunity to get so many people across so many industries that are also absolute experts in their field under one roof. That doesn't happen often, and it can happen at kind of bigger trade shows like the NEC and stuff, but the problem is it can be quite diluted. So you've got here, if you are looking to automate, or you need to automate, or you're not sure whether you need to automate, you have, I think every question you could possibly have can be answered on any given day within that kind of open house period. And I think that's an opportunity you don't get anywhere else.
Yeah. What about monitoring your automation and systems that, we talk about how great these solutions are, unmanned running, but you've got to be able to monitor this. I mean, what will be on show there that could maybe help people look at these things and go, actually, there's an opportunity not just to implement it, but actually see the successes of it?
Yeah, we have our IoT software. We have our preventative maintenance softwares as well. So looking at the servo motors, any vibration that comes away from them, the sensors that detect that to feed it back to a high-level system. That software and hardware is in place, and we can demonstrate that at FANUC, and we'll be having a bit of a talk on that subject throughout the week. And also our salespeople and project managers, technical teams can go into that detail and explain that to the customers and what they will actually require.
Yeah, and there was a speaker last year who's back again, Phil Hadfield, yes, I believe, from Rockwell Automation. Some of the kit that they supply is phenomenal, isn't it? But he was seen last year as delivering something that was really interesting to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So he's back this year. I believe off the top of my head, it's all about how enterprises work together and the partnerships that they can bring. So not only will they have their demos here, I think it was the billards that they had last year, like the snooker balls. I think they're bringing that back, but he's also bringing...
That was the one where it was moving around and it was picking balls up and moving them into, or it was just retracking them or redirecting them depending on how... I mean, maybe you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, it was the MagnaMove piece of equipment, and it goes through some smart logic to actually detail where the parts need to go. We've used a high-speed system out on our shop floor and integrated that, so that was the iTrack system that Rockwell offer, and that's a high-speed, high-position piece of conveyor magnetic drive, very similar to the MagnaMove, but we've actually got a system out there that utilises that, and we can showcase that to some of the exhibitors and visitors on the week as well.
Okay, now there is a competition for those turning up on the robo drills. Brooke, maybe you could tell our audience about that, because they can walk away with a quite pertinent gift.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, open house is 2nd, 3rd, 4th of November. A few weeks after our open house is the start of the World Cup,
which you can't wait for.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. You can really tell in my voice. So I got overruled a little bit on this giveaway, I think, but it's basically going to be World Cup trophies. So we did it a few years back, so we thought World Cup a few weeks after, let's bring it back, let's do it a bit better. So the deal is you have to guess the cycle time. So whoever gets the closest cycle time, you're in with a chance of winning one of them to take away.
Yeah.
And we only have a very, very limited amount. So
and you need to register on the FANUC website. We'll put the link to register to the event. And if you do want to guess that cycle time, you will need to register and turn up to the event in order to qualify to actually win one of those World Cups. I just want to go around each of you all again and maybe pick out. We'll start with you then, Ben. Why should people be coming here, in your opinion? What would be your main thing to say to the people watching this now? Well, they should visit here, Anstey Park in Coventry, November the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah, it's to come and see our fantastic product on showcase, to see what our integrators can do and what also internally FANUC can do, as well as a full turnkey system. Get the one-to-one experience with our sales teams, the project managers, the technical teams, and then sit in and listen to our guest speakers going through the specific points that they're talking about on the week. As Dan said earlier, the education, if you're thinking about automation and thinking about adopting robotics, robo-shots, robo-drills, come to our open house and you'll learn.
Yourself, Dan?
I mean, following on from that's pretty tough. I mean, I can only really echo that, and it's not only the FANUC product, it's wherever you are on your automation journey, whether that's right at the start, whether you're kind of well within your automation journey, but you want to know about new products, it's there for you as well. But it's not just that, it's actually it's coming to see FANUC, and that's a big deal. I think when you have commitment, or you're looking to commit to automation systems, when you come to FANUC, I think it makes that commitment slightly easier. And seeing the kind of staff we have here, the technical support we have here, and the facilities we have here, it's everything's doable at the budget you have, probably.
How good is it for you to be working for a company like this in this day and age?
Yeah,
doing the role that you do.
Yeah, so I was actually having a conversation with someone downstairs earlier this morning about this, and the key thing is about this is that when you're trying to kind of sell this equipment. I don't like using the word sell too much because it kind of makes me sound too pushy, but when you are looking to sell this equipment, working for someone like FANUC makes it so much easier. We're market leaders in what we do. The systems we put out are world class. The case studies that I have then to go and help me kind of sell more is second to none. And I think I'm kind of lucky, really. I look around, especially my peers, and there's not many people doing what I do. So
I think when you look at the products as well, and you look at the fact that the machinery and the automation put together is all from one supplier, the drives, the motors, the controls, all of that puts you in a very strong place when you're talking about a solution, doesn't it? Even looking at these robo drills this morning, I was fascinated with Andy, and if you come to the open house, you'll be able to talk to the guys here about the actual efficiency of that machine. And the part you're talking about, Brooke, the World Cup, he was machining that, and there was I asked him yesterday to tell me what the power consumption of that machine was and break it down into pounds and pence so that people could kind of maybe compare that to other equipment they've got. And it actually worked out it was costing around about £1 an hour to run that machine, to cut that part. Now that to me is quite a powerful message into a machine shop, to run a machine. Okay, he's cutting it in a certain way, and it could be a different type of material that would increase that power, but it does mean that the option is there to be able to machine that efficiently. And I think you can roll that out across all of your equipment.
Absolutely, and we're actually seeing now that customers are kind of tying in FANUC product with kind of solar panels on the roofs, and they're getting grants. And we actually have one customer now that I think's in the final for a competition.
Was that the Bloom in the Box?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bloom in the Box.
Yeah, and some of these customers now are nearly running the machinery off fully sustainable energy.
Yeah. I wish I could do that without food. So if I could have a solar power panel on my head. And that Bloom in the Box was a brilliant story, wasn't it, Brooke? Mate, do you know a little bit more about that you could maybe...
Yeah, don't ask me about the technical
Not the
part,
technical,
I'll give you a bit more. Yeah. So I think we've been working with them for a few years now. So they've actually got one of our injection moulding machines, and as Dad mentioned, they had a grant to get these solar panels put on the roof, and it's powered completely by solar panelled energy. So they're actually doing a comparison at the moment. I think they measured it for 12 months. They're continuing to measure it, even with the increase in cost of energy bills, just to work out exactly how much it pulls from the grid, how much it pulls from the solar panels, what the cost difference is. Does it make a difference during different seasons? So during winter, does the cost get affected? So it's really, really interesting.
Because we went there to film this for you, and the cameraman that turned up thought he was going to be walking into a place where they were producing flowers and putting them in boxes, but it's far different. There is a video on the FANUC website or the FANUC YouTube channel that you can see on that. Brooke, I'm going to come to you as last points. Why should people be here on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of November?
I think it's exactly what Dan said earlier. It doesn't matter what industry you're from, where you're at, whether you're a student that's just about to go into the industry and you want to come and see what World Skills are doing and how that works, whether you're 10, 20 years into your business and you're just looking to go into automation, whether you've been automating for the last 10 years, I really do think this is the one show where anyone can get something out of it, no matter where you are within your journey. So I think that's why people should come.
Totally agree. And it's very centrally located as well here, just off junction 2 of the M6. So you couldn't get a more central location, could you? All of you, thank you very much for your time. It's been a fascinating podcast. We'll be doing these from the event as well. So it's the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of November. We'll put the links to register for the event in the on YouTube and on our website and the other places where you'll be listening to this. Thanks for joining us. It's been another MTD podcast.
Thanks for listening to the MTD podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.